If you had the choice, would you remove pain forever? Not reduce it, not control it. Remove it completely. Imagine a life where nothing hurts, no headaches, no aching joints, no sore muscles after a long day, no burning sting when you touch something too hot, no sharp warning when you step on something hidden beneath your feet, no pain in your chest, no pain in your stomach, no pain in your bones. At first it sounds like freedom, a body that can no longer suffer, a mind that never has to be interrupted by agony, a life where the thing humans fear most simply disappears. You could work longer, run farther, sleep without discomfort, touch the world without flinching. You might even feel powerful, almost untouchable. But here is the part no one tells you at first. Pain is not just suffering. Pain is information. Pain is the body's emergency language. It is the alarm that wakes you before the fire spreads. It is the hand on your shoulder that says stop. It is the invisible boundary between curiosity and danger. And if that voice disappeared overnight, your body would not become stronger. It would become silent. And silence inside the human body can be terrifying, because the body does not stop breaking just because you stop feeling it. The world does not become safer just because it stops hurting you. Fire is still fire. Pressure is still pressure. Infection is still infection. Bones still crack. Skin still burns. Organs still struggle. But without pain, all of it happens without urgency, without warning, without a scream. And that is where this story begins. Not with a monster, not with a disease you can see, but with a strange, impossible gift. One morning you wake up and pain is gone. At first nothing seems wrong. The room looks the same. The light is the same. The air is still cool against your skin. Your blanket is still tangled around your legs. Your phone is still on the table beside you. It feels like any other morning. Then you swing your feet out of bed. One heel hits the floor harder than usual. Normally you would feel a small shock through the bone, a little sting, a little reminder that the floor is solid and your body is fragile. But this time, nothing happens. No discomfort, no pressure that matters, no small warning from the skin. You pause. You press your foot down again. Still nothing. You stand. Your balance is fine. Your muscles still obey. Your eyes still understand the room. So you tell yourself it is probably nothing. Maybe you slept strangely. Maybe your leg is a little numb. Maybe sensation will return in a few minutes. You walk to the bathroom. You turn on the faucet. Steam begins to rise. You place your fingers under the water. It is hot. You know it is hot. Your eyes see the steam. Your memory tells you this temperature should make you pull away. But your hand stays there, still, calm, almost curious. There is no sting, no sharp command to move, no reflexive pull, no panic. Only the strange knowledge that something should be happening and isn't. You turn off the faucet. You stare at your fingers. They look normal, maybe a little red, but they do not hurt. And for the first time, a quiet uneasiness begins to form. Not fear exactly, something softer, something colder. Because the problem is not that something hurts. The problem is that nothing does. This is the first lesson of a painless body. Pain is not only what you feel when something goes wrong. Pain is how you know that something matters. Without it, danger becomes strangely calm. You can see it. You can reason about it. But it does not interrupt you. It does not take control. It does not force you to care. And the human body was not designed to survive by logic alone. Scientifically, pain begins with specialized sensory nerve endings called nociceptors. These receptors are scattered throughout your skin muscles, joints, and many internal tissues. They detect extremes, too much heat, too much pressure, chemical damage, tissue injury. When something crosses a dangerous threshold, nociceptors send signals through nerves into the spinal cord and then up to the brain. But the brain does not simply receive pain. It interprets it. It ranks it. It gives it emotional force. It decides this is urgent. That urgency is what makes you pull away from heat before you think. It is what makes you stop walking when your ankle twists. It is what makes you protect an injured part of your body without needing a plan. Pain is fast because survival must be fast. But on this morning, that system has failed. The body is still exposed to danger. The nerves may still carry some forms of touch or temperature, but the alarm is gone. The warning layer has vanished. You finish getting ready. You brush your teeth. You make coffee. You move through familiar motions, and slowly your mind begins to adapt. Maybe this is not so bad. Maybe this is even useful. No sore back. No tooth sensitivity. No annoying little aches. No discomfort when you sit too long. No pain when you bump your shoulder against the door frame. For a few hours, it almost feels like a superpower. But the body is already keeping records. A small scrape you did not notice. A pressure point you ignored. A hot surface you touched too long. A step placed too heavily. Each one is minor by itself. That is how the danger hides. It does not begin as catastrophe. It begins as a collection of things pain would have corrected immediately. Tiny warnings, tiny adjustments, tiny moments where your body would have said, "Not like that." But today there is no correction, so you keep going. And by evening, when you finally look down at your hand, you notice a thin line of blood. You do not remember when it happened. You do not remember hitting anything. You do not remember feeling anything. There is no story attached to the wound. No moment, no warning, just evidence. And that is when the fear truly begins. Not because something hurt, but because nothing did. The next day you wake up more carefully. You do not jump out of bed. You sit up slowly. You look at your hands. You flex your fingers. You check your feet. Everything seems fine. And that almost makes it worse, because now you understand something you did not understand yesterday. Your body can be damaged without asking for your attention. It can collect small injuries in silence. It can hide information from the one person who needs it most. You walk across the room, but this time every step feels like a question. How hard am I stepping? Is my foot landing correctly? Is there something on the floor? Is the surface too cold, too sharp, too rough? You check the water before touching it. You check the cup before lifting it. You move slower around corners. You begin to understand that pain was doing thousands of tiny jobs for you every day. You never noticed because pain only becomes memorable when it is strong. But weak pain matters too. The little ache that makes you shift your posture. The pressure that makes you loosen your shoes. The sting that makes you wash a small cut. The soreness that makes you rest a muscle. The discomfort that makes you change position during sleep. Without these small signals, your body becomes a place you have to supervise manually. Every movement becomes management. Every ordinary object becomes a possible hazard. And yet, even with all this caution, you miss things. You always miss things, because pain is not just a warning after damage. It is part of how you move. Your joints, muscles, and tendons constantly report pressure and strain. They help you know where your body is in space. They help you sense when something is being pushed too far. They tell you when a movement is safe and when it is becoming dangerous. Now imagine that feedback reduced or distorted. You can still see your body. You can still control it. But you are missing the emotional alarm that gives certain signals priority. So you grip something too hard. You bite down too strongly. You lean on one knee too long. You keep walking even when a joint needs rest. You do not mean to be careless. Carelessness is not the problem. The problem is that the body normally protects itself before you have to become careful. That automatic protection is gone. There is a real rare condition called congenital insensitivity to pain. People born with it may not feel physical pain the way most people do. To someone hearing about it for the first time, it can sound almost magical. But doctors and families know the reality is often frightening. Children with this condition can injure themselves without noticing. They may keep using an injured limb. They may develop repeated wounds. They may damage joints over time because pain does not tell them when to stop. The danger is not that they are fearless in a heroic way. The danger is that normal limits become invisible. You begin to notice this invisibility in yourself. By afternoon, your jaw feels strange, not painful, just tired. You realize you may have been clenching it for hours. Normally, discomfort would have interrupted you. It would have made you relax your face. But without pain, the pressure continued. Later, you notice your shoulder is stiff. You do not remember straining it. You do not remember lifting anything heavy. But the range of motion feels different, limited, as if the body is beginning to change its shape around injuries you never felt. This is how the second stage begins. Not with panic, with uncertainty. You become suspicious of yourself. You stop trusting the simple statement, "I feel fine," because now "I feel fine" means almost nothing. It only means there is no pain. And pain is exactly what you have lost. So you inspect your body, hands, feet, knees, elbows, skin. You look for swelling, discoloration, heat, stiffness, anything visible. But the most dangerous things are often not visible yet. A small fracture can hide beneath skin. A strained tendon can worsen with every repeated motion. A wound can become infected before it becomes obvious. An internal problem can grow quietly until the body reaches a crisis point. This is why pain matters so deeply. It brings the future into the present. It tells you if you continue, this will become worse. Without pain, consequences arrive late, sometimes too late. That night you try to sleep, but sleep feels different. Normally, your body shifts when something becomes uncomfortable. You roll over, you move your arm, you change position before pressure causes harm. But now you are not sure your body will do that. So you lie awake longer than usual. You try to notice everything: the weight of the blanket, the position of your neck, the angle of your wrist, the pressure on your hip. And slowly another realization arrives. A painless life is not peaceful. It is exhausting, because pain was not only the problem you wanted to remove, it was also the system that allowed you to stop paying attention. Without it, your body becomes a responsibility you can never fully put down. By the third day, you have learned how to protect your skin. Mostly, you test water before touching it. You avoid sharp objects. You walk carefully. You check your feet before putting on shoes. You eat slowly. You try not to bite your tongue. You are beginning to build a new life around the absence of pain. But there is one terrifying problem. You can only protect what you can observe, and most of your body is hidden from you. Pain is not only for the surface. It does not only warn you about fire cuts and broken bones. Some of the most important pain comes from within. A deep ache in the abdomen, a tightness in the chest, a severe pressure in the head, a burning sensation in the stomach, a sharp warning when something inside is inflamed. These signals are not pleasant. No one enjoys them, but they are often the first sign that something needs attention. Inside the body, pain can be less precise than pain on the skin. You may not know exactly where it comes from, but it tells you that something is wrong. It changes your behavior. It makes you rest. It makes you seek help. It makes you stop pretending everything is normal. Without that signal, internal danger becomes a secret. You can look at your hand and see a cut. You can look at your foot and see swelling, but you cannot look inside your abdomen. You cannot see early infection deep in tissue. You cannot watch an organ struggle. You cannot visually inspect inflammation in the body's hidden places. So your life becomes divided into two worlds: the visible body you can monitor, and the invisible body you can only hope is okay. This is where the gift becomes truly frightening, because the most dangerous problems often begin quietly. They do not always announce themselves with obvious signs. They begin as pressure, fatigue, nausea, a strange change in breathing, a weakness that is easy to explain away. Normally, pain gives these vague symptoms weight. It tells your brain, "Pay attention now." But without pain, everything becomes easier to dismiss. You wake up feeling tired, more tired than usual. You tell yourself you slept poorly. You feel a little unsteady. You blame stress. Your breathing feels shallow for a moment. You wait for it to pass. And because nothing hurts, your brain refuses to treat it as an emergency. This is one of pain's hidden powers. Pain creates priority. The brain receives millions of signals every moment. Most are ignored. Most are background noise. Pain cuts through the noise. It forces itself to the front. It says, "This matters more than whatever you were doing." Take away pain, and the brain loses one of its strongest ranking systems. A mild inconvenience and a serious internal threat can both feel strangely distant. You know intellectually that danger exists, but knowledge does not always create action. Urgency does, and urgency is what pain supplies. As the day continues, your tiredness grows heavier. You sit down more often. You move more slowly. Something feels wrong, but wrong in a vague way. Not enough to frighten you. Not enough to stop your routine. You tell yourself to wait. You tell yourself to drink water. You tell yourself it is probably nothing. This is the trap. Without pain, probably nothing becomes dangerously easy. Hours pass. Your body keeps working. Your heart keeps beating. Your lungs keep moving. But somewhere inside, a process may be unfolding faster than you realize. Inflammation, infection, bleeding, organ stress. A chain reaction that would normally produce discomfort strong enough to interrupt your life. But now the chain reaction is quiet. And by the time you understand that something is truly wrong, you are not reacting early. You are catching up. That is the difference pain makes. Pain does not always save you by preventing danger. Sometimes it saves you by giving you time. Time to notice. Time to stop. Time to ask for help. Time to survive. Without pain, you often meet danger after it has already begun to win. That evening, you stand up and suddenly the room tilts. Your hand reaches for the wall. Your vision narrows for a second. There is still no pain, only weakness, only confusion, only the strange delay between your body failing and your mind understanding what that means. You sit down on the floor. You breathe slowly, and for the first time, the thought becomes clear. Maybe pain was never the enemy. Maybe pain was the messenger. And maybe the messenger was the only reason you ever made it this far. Pain does more than protect the body. It teaches the mind. Every child learns this before they can explain it. Touch something too hot, and the lesson arrives instantly. Fall too hard, and the body remembers. Bite your tongue, and you become careful. Step on something sharp, and your attention changes. These are not just memories. They are survival instructions written into the nervous system. Pain gives experience emotional force. It marks certain actions as dangerous. It turns the world into a map of safe and unsafe places. But when pain disappears, the map begins to fade. At first, you still remember. You remember fire is dangerous. You remember knives can cut. You remember falling can injure you. You remember that some movements should not be pushed too far. But memory without reinforcement becomes weaker over time. The brain is constantly updating its model of the world. If something no longer produces a strong consequence, the brain begins to question whether it was truly dangerous. Not all at once, slowly, subtly. This is where the mind begins to change. You become more curious around danger, not reckless at first. Just curious. You hold your hand near heat longer than before because nothing inside forces you away. You walk on a sore-looking foot because it does not feel sore. You keep using a strained joint because there is no pain to say enough. Your logic knows the risk, but logic has a quiet voice compared to sensation. Pain used to shout. Logic suggests. Pain used to seize control. Logic negotiates. Pain used to end the argument. Logic can always be ignored. This is why a painless life changes behavior. It does not simply remove suffering. It removes the emotional weight of consequences. You may still know that something is dangerous, but knowing and feeling are not the same. A cliff is dangerous whether you fear it or not. A flame burns whether you respect it or not. A wound can worsen whether you care about it or not. Pain is one of the forces that makes care automatic. Without it, care becomes a decision, and decisions can be delayed. Decisions can be rationalized. Decisions can be skipped. As days pass, you begin to notice that your fear is changing. It is still there, but it is thinner, less physical, less immediate. You look at something hot and think that could hurt me. But the sentence feels strange because hurt has lost its meaning. You see another person pull away from pain. They flinch. They gasp. They protect the injured place. You understand what happened, but part of you observes it from far away. Like watching a language you used to speak fluently. You remember the grammar. You know the translation, but you no longer feel the words. This matters because pain is tied to empathy. When you see someone else in pain, your own brain can mirror part of that experience. You do not feel exactly what they feel, but you feel an echo. That echo helps you respond. It helps you understand urgency in another person's body. It helps you care quickly. If your own connection to pain weakens, that echo may become less vivid. You may still be kind. You may still understand suffering intellectually, but the emotional immediacy changes. Other people's pain starts to look almost theatrical, not because they are exaggerating, but because your body no longer provides the internal translation. This is one of the loneliest parts of losing pain. You are not just separated from your own body. You are separated from a shared human language. Everyone else still lives in a world with alarms. You live in a world of silent consequences. Everyone else still understands danger through sensation. You understand it through observation. And observation is always a step removed. You begin to feel like a person behind glass, watching bodies react, watching faces tighten, watching people protect themselves, and realizing that something once automatic in you has become theoretical. That night you think about childhood. The little falls, the scraped knees, the hot bowl you touched too quickly, the sharp edge that taught you caution. You used to think pain interrupted life. Now you realize it shaped life. It trained you. It carved boundaries into your behavior. It gave the world texture. Without pain, the world does not become gentle. It becomes flat. And a flat world is dangerous because nothing feels more urgent than anything else. There was a time when survival happened before thought. You touched heat and pulled away. You stepped wrong and shifted your weight. You bit something too hard and stopped. You felt pressure, strain, discomfort, and adjusted automatically. You did not need to schedule these corrections. You did not need to think about them. Your body handled them in the background. That was the miracle. Not that the body avoided all danger, but that it responded so quickly to so many threats. Now everything is manual. You check the floor before walking. You test food before chewing. You time how long you sit in one position. You inspect your skin under bright light. You set reminders to rest. You avoid tools. You avoid heat. You avoid anything that requires instinct. Your home begins to change. Sharp corners get covered. Hot surfaces get marked. You place thermometers near water. You choose softer shoes. You keep bandages nearby. You create routines around inspection and prevention. From the outside, it may look like control, but it does not feel like control. It feels like living inside a machine whose warning lights have been removed. You can still operate it, but only by constantly guessing what the dashboard would have said. The exhaustion grows slowly. At first, caution feels empowering. You tell yourself you can adapt. You can build systems. You can be smarter than the missing signal. But pain was not a single signal. It was a network, a living, moving, constantly updating system. It worked while you slept. It worked while you were distracted. It worked when you were emotional, busy, bored, or tired. Your conscious attention cannot replace that. No checklist can feel for you. No camera can monitor every internal process. No routine can perfectly imitate instinct. Eventually, vigilance starts to fail. Not because you are weak, because constant vigilance is not sustainable. The mind becomes tired of scanning, tired of checking, tired of treating every ordinary action like a potential emergency. And once the mind gets tired, shortcuts appear. You skip one inspection. You ignore one small swelling. You assume one strange stiffness will pass. You delay one decision. Pain used to make delay impossible. Pain used to demand attention now. Without it, later becomes tempting. Later becomes comfortable. Later becomes dangerous. This is how the third psychological trap opens. At first, you are afraid because you cannot feel pain. Then you become careful. Then you become tired of being careful. Then you begin to ignore danger again. But now you ignore it without the old safety net. You are not brave. You are exhausted. And exhaustion inside a painless body can be fatal. You begin to normalize damage. A bruise becomes something to watch, not something to worry about. A swollen joint becomes part of the day. A small wound becomes a note for later. Your standard for alarm keeps rising because nothing feels alarming. The body adapts. The mind adapts. And adaptation is not always good. Humans can adapt to noise, to stress, to discomfort, to decline. We can adapt so well that we stop recognizing when something is wrong. Without pain, this adaptation becomes even easier because there is no intense signal pulling you back to reality, no sharp contrast, no moment where the body says, "This is not normal." You begin comparing yourself not to health, but to yesterday. If today is not dramatically worse than yesterday, you call it acceptable. If the wound is not much larger, you wait. If the limp is not much stronger, you continue. If the weakness is familiar, you ignore it. This is how slow decline becomes invisible, not because there are no signs, but because none of the signs hurt. And signs without pain are easy to turn into background. One morning you notice a small area of swelling. It does not hurt. Of course it does not. Nothing does anymore. The skin looks different, slightly raised, slightly warm, a color that makes you pause. You stare at it for a while. You tell yourself to keep an eye on it. That phrase feels responsible. It feels calm. Keep an eye on it. But pain would not have said that. Pain would have said now. Pain would have made the area impossible to ignore. Pain would have changed the way you moved. It would have forced you to protect the wound. It would have made delay uncomfortable. Instead, you go on with your day. You walk. You work. You move the affected area like nothing is wrong. And beneath the surface, your immune system is already responding. White blood cells arrive. Blood flow changes, chemical signals spread, inflammation begins. In a normal body, inflammation often produces pain. That pain is not random. It encourages rest. It reduces movement. It makes you avoid pressure. It draws attention to the area. It is part of the healing strategy. But without pain, the strategy is incomplete. Your immune system fights, but your behavior does not change enough to help it. You keep using the body part. You keep exposing it to stress. You keep delaying care because nothing forces the issue. The infection grows quietly, not in a dramatic movie way, not with instant horror, but with the slow confidence of something that has not been interrupted. By evening, the area looks worse. Still, there is no pain, so your brain struggles to rank it. A visible change is concerning, but without sensation, it lacks emotional force. You take a photo to compare later. You make a mental note. You promise yourself you will deal with it if it gets worse, but the word worse has become difficult. Worse used to mean stronger pain. Now worse only means visual evidence, and visual evidence can be misread. Lighting changes, angles change, memory blurs. You convince yourself it is manageable. This is why pain is not only an alarm. Pain is a translator. It turns invisible biological processes into felt experience. It translates inflammation into urgency. It translates injury into protection. It translates danger into action. Without that translation, the body speaks in signs you can overlook. Warmth, color, swelling, fatigue, changes in movement. All important, all too easy to negotiate with. The next day you wake up feeling unusually weak. Your mind is foggy, your body is heavy, still no pain. You look at the swollen area again. Now you cannot deny that it has changed. But denial does not require certainty. It only needs enough doubt to delay action. Maybe it will improve. Maybe it is not infected. Maybe you are overreacting. Maybe you should wait one more day. That hesitation is the dangerous part. Pain normally destroys hesitation. It makes the cost of waiting immediate. Without pain, waiting feels safe. By the time you seek help, the problem may have moved beyond the place where it began. The body is connected. No injury exists completely alone. A local infection can affect the whole system. The immune response can become overwhelming. Temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, and organ function can all change. But pain is often the signal that makes the others impossible to ignore. Without it, the crisis can feel strangely quiet until it is not quiet anymore. This is the darkest irony. Pain feels like the enemy when it arrives. But very often pain is the reason danger is still local, still early, still treatable. The ancient alarm, the signal that says, stop something, is wrong. You would not erase it, because now you know what silence costs. You know that a body without pain is not free from danger. It is trapped in danger without a guide. You know that pain is not always the villain. Sometimes pain is the last loyal messenger, the one you hate when it arrives, the one you thank only after you understand what it prevented. And maybe that is the deepest truth. Pain was never the thing that made life worse. Pain was the thing that kept life connected to reality. It made the invisible visible. It made danger urgent. It made the fragile body speak. And when that voice disappeared, you did not become untouchable. You became unreachable. So the next time pain appears even briefly, maybe you will still dislike it. Maybe you will still wish it would pass. That is human. But somewhere beneath the discomfort, you may understand its message. Not cruelty, not punishment, not weakness. A warning, a boundary, a plea from the body that carries you through the world. A final voice saying, pay attention, you are alive. And I am trying to keep you that way. If this story made you think differently about pain, the human body or the hidden systems keeping us alive every second stay with this channel. Because the strangest truths about being human are often the ones we take for granted. The heartbeat you do not notice, the breath you forget you are taking, the warning signals you only hate because they still work, and sometimes the thing we most want to escape is the very thing quietly protecting us. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.